This has to be the heaviest item, other than sit-stand desks and ergonomic chairs, that I've reviewed in my channel. Unless there are weights inside the Fiio S15 media streamer, then I'd say that's a good thing. I'd kind of like to open it up and find out what's going on, but you know what? I'm just going to review it. Fiio, some say Lido, some say Lido. Trying not to risk a hernia, the unboxing. Another first is that this is a media streamer, and I've never had one before. Okay, so I can stream from my computer, my tablet, my phone, my Apple TV box, my Fire Stick, and I do every day. So it'll be interesting to find out what a dedicated media streamer can do for me. Hey, I'm a media streamer virgin. Can I get some kind of ribbon for that? Oh, here I am from the future. The Fiio S15 is massively packed out with features, and there's no way I can cover them all. So in this video, you're going to see me explore the front and rear panels. I'll be streaming from Spotify, transferring audio files from my computer, and I'll tell you something interesting about the remote. Oh, and I'll have a little play with the equalizer with an audio demonstration. Back now to the present. I often like to start with the manufacturer's website. They know more about their product than anyone else, so why not? And so we can learn that the Fiio S15 is proficient in media streaming, network streaming, LAN playback, local playback decoding, digital jukeboxing, and hey, it's a preamplifier as well. As far as I can tell, the only thing it doesn't do is karaoke. Maybe there's a third-party app for that. What else? It's equipped with flagship parts apparently. Maybe a gold bar from the wreck of the HMS Sussex. That would account for the weight. A wide variety of interfaces, numerous ways to control, fully compatible with external decoders, amplifiers and speakers. What's not to like? I'm not quite sure what kind of decoder we would be talking about because as far as I can see, the S15 can decode anything that needs decoding. Maybe not surround, but that's a different thing in my view. I'll show you a few screenshots from the website. You can pause and peruse to your heart's content. And of course there's a link in the description. Full-sized, standard width, good. No sound degradation caused by vibrations. It's good to have solutions for non-problems. Automotive-grade touchscreen. Well, my old banger of a car has good old-fashioned knobs, buttons and dials, and that's the way I like it. Will I like a touchscreen on a streamer? We'll see. Who doesn't like nice, pure power? No, really, who doesn't? And check out the numbered fins on the Transformer's heatsink. Whoever designed this is clearly angling for a promotion. Okay, everything is covered. I read the blurb, so you don't have to. Rune? Well, that would be a whole video in itself. Until I make one, you can learn more through the link in the description. Dual, accu-silicon, femtosecond crystal oscillators. Okay, I think we've got the gist. And this is only halfway down the page. Let's look at the thing itself. round the back where all the interesting stuff is. I suspect that truly dedicated audiophiles would prefer that the back could be at the front, so they can see all of the connectivity goodness. What I'm going to say at this point is that the Fiio S15 is deep. If you want to learn all there is to learn about it, you'll need to consult all of the online promotional materials, all of the reviews, and maybe find a forum with a dedicated thread. What I can do here is only a fraction of what the S15 can do. Anyway, round the back. Let's start with the parts that are still in Kansas, like the digital inputs on XLR and RCA. So we have AES EBU in and out, and SPDIF in and out. AES EBU is like SPDIF's big brother. Higher voltage, balanced, 24-bit support rather than 20, longer cable lengths, and a few other details. Lovers of optical cabling can both input and output SPDIF. Then we have 3 sets of stereo outputs, 2 on RCA connectors and 1 balanced on XLR. A ground connection and ground lift switch. I think we can all be fairly comfortable with this. What we need, what we want, nothing not to like. Okay, so what happens when we're not in Kansas anymore? You can install your own SSD in the M.2 form factor. So supposing you installed a 4 terabyte SSD. I had ChatGPT calculate for me, and for 256 kilobits per second AAC, you could store in stereo nearly 4 years of music. Downloaded from Apple Music, that would cost you $750,000 USD. Phew, let's move on, or down. LAN, or local area network. LAN streaming isn't something I've gotten into yet, but I know from comments in several of my previous videos that it is most definitely a thing. People want to own their ones and zeros rather than stream them, and have their own server to serve them. I'm not suddenly going to get LAN happy and test this, but commenters, please weigh in with your thoughts and experiences. SD card, yes, something we can understand. HDMI in and out with ARC, audio return channel. Home cinema enthusiasts will understand that. Unfortunately, my aging Pioneer Kuro doesn't have ARC, but I still live a happy life. And trigger, something else I don't use yet, but who wouldn't want to be able to switch on all of their equipment at once? Other than the power amp, but that's another story for another day. Now, what's missing? There's a hell of a lot of connectivity here on the rear, but there's something missing, and it's my favourite. USB-C with a DAC function. DACs and stuff have been crashing over my review desk in waves, and USB-C is everywhere, but not here. I'm guessing that I should be able to Wi-Fi from my computer to the S15, but something else that's missing is a full manual to tell me how to do that. What's in the box is only a quick start guide, and what I find online is more of an FAQ than a proper manual. Still, I learned a thing or two that wasn't in the quick start. What else is missing? Well, we'll have to go around the front for that. No headphone output. I'm going to have to say that in a device with so many features as the S15, USB-C on the back and a headphone output on the front are things I really would like to have. And a proper manual. Oh, I'm at the front, and I see what's missing from the back. USB-C, labelled USB DAC. I'm going to say that there are people out there who will be constantly plugging and unplugging into this connector. I'm sure they'll tell you who they are and what they're plugging in the comments. Maybe a laptop? Still, I'd have preferred also to have USB-C on the back, because it's my favourite. BTW, by the way. You'll have to download a driver to use the USB-C. If you have a Windows computer, I think I'm right there. My Mac works just fine without. Someone else's favourite output-wise might be the I2S output on the back. Looking for all the world like another HDMI connection. But it isn't. Confused or fascinated? It could go either way. Okay, if you're not into I2S or IIS or I2S, as I've heard people call it, it's integrated circuit sound. That's okay. No one was any the wiser until they read up on it on Wikipedia. Apparently, I say apparently, it's a better way of transporting digital audio signals. The HDMI-style connector is just convenient for the job. I'm going to leave this as a possible delve for a future video, but by all means comment your thoughts and experiences. in the comments. Going back to the front panel, there's a regular USB socket. Hey, I can play audio files from it. I've tried it, and I can. It's a bit odd that it's upside down compared to most USB sockets, where the holes in the plug go on the top. But we all know how to spin a USB, so I suspect we'll manage. Now here's a weird thing. The remote. Yes, I know. Everything comes with a remote these days, and I have 6 in my living room. They're so common, in fact, that I've stopped bothering to mention them in my reviews. But this one is different. It works by Bluetooth. Who doesn't want a remote that works by Bluetooth? But of course you have to pair it, and first you have to know that the remote works by Bluetooth. There's a handy instruction card, but it doesn't mention Bluetooth at all. But I poked around, messed about, and I found the Bluetooth page on the S15. Then pairing was pretty much the same as pairing anything. I managed to pair my iPhone too, so I could use the Fiio app. The S15 is a complex unit, and I'll take these small successes where I can get them. So let me show you a few of the operations of the Fiio S15. We have a touch screen. The S15 really has so many functions nothing else would do. And there's more than you can see here. Let's have a scroll. Google Chrome really does bring up the Chrome web browser. Who'd have thought it? Will you use it? Let's go to applications. It's an app store, albeit it seems limited to what we have here. It doesn't scroll any further and I don't see a search button. Anyway, you can see that I've already installed Spotify. I'll install Apple Music. I haven't done this yet, so we'll see what happens. Okay, that's far enough for now. Fiio Music. I can scan for music that's stored internally or on a USB stick plugged into the front panel, or I presume on the SSD round the back if one's installed. Also, I can do a Wi-Fi transfer. On my computer, I go to the IP shown here and I'm served with a browser window where I can upload all of my irritating unboxing music. If I owned one of these, I'd probably use it mostly for Spotify. So let's go there using the shortcut. Oh look, my recent releases. Hey, there's Dreams, my latest. And you'll be delighted to know that it isn't me singing. One more, USB DAC. A bit more trickier to find until you get the hang of it. You can see the other inputs here too. So how does it sound? Well, if you've watched any of my reviews already, you'll know that I prefer objectivity to made-up fantasy woo-woo waffle. I check the specs. Frequency response, noise, distortion. Okay, 20 Hz to 20 kHz flat within 0.3 decibels. And up to 70 kHz within 2.8 dB if your source can offer it. Total harmonic distortion and noise less than 0.00023% at 1 kHz. You know, in general and not just here, I wish we could get distortion figures over a wider frequency range. But if 1 kHz is that good, I'd be pretty sure that we'll get plenty low enough over the full band. Crosstalk less than 126 dB. You can't hear it. These figures vary a little depending on what combination of inputs and outputs you use, but it's all very good. I'll put a link in the description to further technical information. And charts! I love charts. What I will say subjectively is that I've been listening to my own music through the S15. It sounds like the way I made it. That's enough for me. I'm going to play with the EQ, a bit at random, but you'll see what its capabilities are. The EQ was good. I use professional EQ plugins when I'm creating my music, So EQs in hi-fi always seem a bit lacking to me. But this, I'd say in my HO, that this is pretty much equally versatile. Let's look at the effects. I'll let you make up your own mind on what you hear. Here's an interesting thing. Watch this. Did you hear anything unusual? You didn't hear any change in volume. Now, I'm not as green as I'm cabbage looking, and I know that there's a volume control in here somewhere. I can tell you though that it's not in the quick start, nor in the online FAQ, unless you know exactly which Q to look for. Number 13 will do it, after you've clicked all of 1 to 12. You can then deep dive into the system, and when you've found LO output mode, you can set the volume to be adjustable. Okay, both ways have their uses. Should it be as obscure as this though? To fully appreciate the Fiio S15, you're going to have to get clicking and see what other people also have to say, on the web and in video. I've covered things that are of interest to me, and if I haven't bothered with the things that are too fiddly, well, that's all the more fun for you to discover. I would have to ask myself the question, do I want something this complicated? Or to put it another way, this feature-packed? I will say though that it's been an interesting experience exploring my first streamer. Google today puts the price of the S15 at £1,000 UK, with maybe 50 quid change. It's a lot of money, but there's a lot of functionality. And as for build quality, it's impossible to fault. As always, I was sent this unit, but other than that and any affiliate links, there's no payment or influence involved. So I can say what I like, and I've said it. See you soon.